Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another episode of Road to Greatness. In this episode, I'm going to go over my second peak week, what that looked like for the NBA show on the 3rd of May 2026. So be sure to watch episode 35, where I talk through my first peak week, referring to that episode a lot more in this one. I believe it's episode 35. I could be wrong. Regardless, I'm going to be referring to that episode and what sort of changed and what we sort of kept the same, but more importantly, what I took from this second peak week. And so the week itself ran quite smoothly. Training felt really good. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, upper and lower session respectively, felt really solid. And I believe that came off the back end of the rest we had from peak week number one. And the pump sessions felt better than last week, more because I had an idea of what I was doing, and finding that rhythm and having some degree of momentum really helped when it came to, well, just understanding what I'm doing and what I'm trying to achieve. From that showed itself in the physique. I looked refreshed, I looked rejuvenated, and I felt better as well. That was another big thing that I took away from this second peak week. Speaking of, a part of that, I believe, is because we got to eat a little bit more food. So I got an extra 25 grams of carbs every day. So we ran 250 protein, 275 carb, and 50 fat for the entirety of the week. And that did present that did present a tighter look in photos and in posing. I was still in a deficit the week of the A and B show. I was about half a kilo lighter um, this second peak week. And being leaner, we had a better opportunity to push carbohydrates a bit more and really fill out the physique. I found as well that I prefer the linear load, just because we have greater predictability to the look and can adjust day to day. And it reassured me and my coach that we were both doing the right things. As for tanning and shaving, they were more pleasant, I believe, because I knew what to expect going in. And I didn't have to reshave my entire body, just spent 15, 20 minutes going over my legs and my chest as they were getting just a little bit hairy. And the tanning this time was done at the venue. Last time it was done offsite. This time it was done at the venue in one of the rooms. And there was a different protocol this time compared to previous. So last time they said after about 8 hours, go have a shower, sleep, come back, we do a top coat. This time around, there was no shower. They said to avoid water, avoid sweating, obviously no deodorants, anything that can discolor or augment the tan in any way, and just let it dry. And we'll put a top coat over you to make sure that you're truly dark for the stage. And that's exactly what happened. But I believe knowing what to expect really helped. I felt more comfortable during the process, and I had a good conversation with the tanners while I'm, standing there essentially butt naked, letting a stranger spray a weird substance on me. So take that as you will. The biggest change from last week would have to be steps. So Monday through Thursday, my steps averaged around 13K. There were some days where it got up to 15, even 16,000. And so those extra carbohydrates really helped. But come Friday and Saturday, I did not get any more than 10,000 steps. And on Saturday, I got less than 8. So I noticed from the previous week that getting off my feet and giving myself the chance to relax really helped when it came to my stage presentation. And I wanted to continue that into this next week. So we set the target, hey, no more than 8,000 steps on the Saturday, so that Sunday, when we're relaxing, we can really freshen up that lower body. And I noticed that I really struggled to sit still. And so I used Friday and Saturday to practice exactly that. All right, I watched some shows and some different movies. I put together some content similar to this for the next couple of weeks, and read up on the Muscle and Strength Pyramids by Eric Helms. But last but not least, I sat in silence and just conducted some meditative practices that I haven't in a very, very long time. And what I noticed from that is I was super, super relaxed come show day, to the point where I just took pressure off myself competing and asked myself, what would it look like for me to have fun? And having that opportunity to reflect on the process as a whole and the reason why I started this prep in the first place, uh, it made me remind myself and remember why I chose to do this. It was never about placings, it was never about being this bodybuilder and tying everything to the result I got from the stage. It was about learning more about myself. It was this path of self discovery and self expansion. And part of that means having fun with what I do. Okay. And so, me having the opportunity to have fun and allow myself to have fun, I had already won in my head because I was enjoying it. And that was really, really important. So, again, what that meant is I had zero stress come show day. Um, I was more present on stage and really enjoyed my time presenting what is my best self so far. And I had even more fun than my first show, which I didn't believe was possible. So that leads us into show day itself. And I kicked back and relaxed as much as I could the morning of, had a very similar structure to last week. Just did a journal entry, caught up on some reading, and watched a lecture recording for a little bit of study before driving to the venue and eating meal one at about 7:15. This was, 110 grams of cream of rice, 20 grams of whey, and 25 grams of almonds, which was about with a third teaspoon of salt. Um, from there, just sort of rego, got my stuff, kicked my feet up, and relaxed until pump up at 9:30 for a 10:15 a.m. stage showing. Just talk with the other competitors there. Everyone was getting around each other, helping ourselves with pump ups, and just, yeah, it was a really awesome environment to be backstage with everyone that just wanted to be better than they were right now. And from there, had the usual pump up protocol prior to getting started, another half tablespoon of salt, three snake lollies, half a liter of water with 10 grams of a non-stim pump formula, two no-dose tablets, and this time I had a double shot espresso as well because I felt like a coffee. And that led straight into the pump up routine. So, push-ups, rear delt flies, banded rows, bicep curls, uh, tricep kickbacks, tricep extensions, and lateral raises. Did some single arm pull downs as well, all on a circuit, three sets of 15 to 25 with like a 90 seconds rest between rounds. Once I got a good pump on, did my first, second round, went and got touch ups for my tan, came back, continued pumping up before jumping right on stage, which leads me into my first class, which was first timers. Placed second, and I was really chuffed with that. Did not expect to walk away with second place. And the same can be said for the under 30 class that I competed in, also came away with a second place in that, which is really awesome. Really, really cool. I was, again, super chuffed with the day and grateful that I got to put my best self forward for my family, my support crew, and everyone that was there for me to see. And they really put us through our paces. Okay, it did look like a bit of a toss up between the gentleman that came first and in the first timers and myself. At least that's what I tell myself anyway. And they really just round us through the round saying next pose, next pose, next pose, next pose. Hurry up, gentlemen, and really sort of put us through it. But it was such an awesome, awesome day. I'm so glad I took part in that. And I noticed that during my posing, I actually made a mistake. And I wasn't as sharp as I would have liked. Struggled to keep things switched on like my quads. And it's something, my posing is something that I want to keep refining going into next season. So I believe if I had posed better, things could have been different. Who knows? The point being that, posing's an art. And I have the utmost respect for people that pose really, really well because it's not easy. And I look forward to being a phenomenal poser because I see how well the elegance and the flow in that it's an art form. It's displaying your best self forward. It's a bit like having a barn find and leaving it all dirty. Someone's like, oh, what's that? Compared to giving it a really good clean. That's probably the best analogy that I can give you there. But again, that's more stuff for us to work on in the improvement season. And once I stepped off stage, spent the rest of the day with family, just giving back to my support crew. All right, we initially went down to the cafe, got a quick coffee before heading to my grandmother's house for lunch, which was rabbit stew with some rice and some roast veggies, tiramisu, chocolate, and some ice cream for dessert, plus just a little bit of fruit. So that was all leftovers as well for the next day. We had lots of laughs and conversations and really deep, truthful conversations that night. And we were there for a good couple of hours, which was awesome. And so that evening of show day, just packed everything I needed for the following day, being Monday, start to my week, and wound down and made sure to get to bed on time. As for what the peak week taught me, it taught me to be ready early, really, and get into condition early, like 2 to 4 weeks out, because that means that I can actually relax. And the second thing to that is taking probably the 3 days prior. So let's say I compete Sunday, taking Saturday, Friday, and Thursday off to actually rest and give myself the chance to truly recover and rejuvenate. Which leads me into my second point, is just resting as much as I can. I was still very much on the go and trying to do all these different things. And what I found is it did lead to a less than favorable result because I was just always on the go and didn't give myself the chance to truly rest. And that in mind, it's like, well, what do you do when you rest? Well, the third point is using peak week and the final days as a chance to reflect. I'd put in 20 weeks worth of work by that point. And for me to just not think about it and just go full laser focus like this, that made no sense. Why would I do that to myself? And so using the chance that I'm ready early, I've had the chance to rest, I can use that as an opportunity to reflect, to truly ask myself what I got out of this prep, not what it got out of me. And now that prep is done, I'm looking forward to getting back to an improvement season, first going through a recovery phase. And after that, sharing and documenting this journey with you guys as we look to compete in the future. When that is, I'm not sure. I've been telling people 2029, giving myself at least a full 2 year off season, allowing the rest of 2026 to be a recovery period and a season of growth as well in some other areas. But now that prep is done, what does that mean for this Road to Greatness series? Well, I started RTG to document my journey through bodybuilding, and I'll continue to do that. As I mentioned, there's still the recovery phase, there's my new training split, there's nutrition where we'll do a full day of eating. And as well as that, just some other things that are on my mind, some lessons and some updates that have been going on. On top of that, though, I'm also going to start documenting the evolution and the beginning of RPC Strength, which is my new coaching, my new face-to-face coaching and massage service. So this is also aligning with a move to Brisbane, which I'm very much looking forward to. So moving to a new state with a new company, starting a new job, learning a lot of new things happening in my life, but I'm really grateful that I get the chance to document all of this and share it with you so you can follow along with my journey. Okay, on top of that, I've still got plenty more upskilling to do with FMA and SNA between conferences and immersions and other things that I get up to. Okay, so there's lots to discuss and I'm really excited to share it with you all. And if you've made it this far into the video, thank you for being a part of this journey. My name is Elijah Citroni. I walk the path to greatness in the hope that I can lead others there as well. I'll be here every single Friday with a brand new update. But until then, take care, enjoy your weekend, and I'm sure that we'll chat soon.